Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. And listen, people got to stop taking it to the stupid. Now, Andre Ward, he made some comments where he said if he was still active, he doesn't believe Canelo would have mentioned his name. Now, I'm going to say this. I think when Andre Ward says stuff like that, I think he's hating a little bit. And I think he's also needs to hold his horses and not take it to the stupid. I could see Canelo mentioning his name. Now, could Canelo have beaten Andre Ward? And can he beat Andre Ward today? When Andre Ward was active, I don't think so. I mean, you're talking about 2011, 12, if Andre Ward came out of retirement today, could Canelo beat him? I don't know. Andre Ward, he's not an old head. He retired at a young age, man, and he may be able to whip himself back in shape and get his whispering trainer back in his corner, and he may be able to come out here and pull off a victory against Canelo. But this is the thing that drives me crazy. When people say Andre Ward's career wasn't that great, he really didn't do anything. I got to say that some people must have they don't watch boxing. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, I'll do a couple YouTube shorts on popular headlines from basketball. You may see a baseball, you may see a football. Do I watch those sports? No. I may watch a little bit of basketball, but I watch boxing. Okay, my sons, I have 4 sons. My 13-year-old, he'll watch a little. He watches a little bit of everything, but he plays all sports. But with me, I'm boxing. Crazy about boxing. I can talk about everything boxing. So my thing is, you won't see me commenting on videos and stuff about sports I don't know much about. Okay? And I think that tends to happen sometimes when you'll have a fan who decides to be a pigeon and fly around in the comments and drop shit off and then fly back out. You know what I'm saying? So, because when they say Andre Ward's career wasn't that great, obviously they don't know much about Andre Ward. Now, what I will say is this. Let me do this real quick, right? Let me get rid of myself here. Move me out of here. When you look at Andre Ward, he retired, had 32 wins, 16 KOs. Okay, stood about 6 foot, 6'1", 71-inch reach. Matter of fact, Devin Haney has the same reach as Andre Ward. But this is the thing that I wanted to make sure people understood. When it came to Andre Ward, and when you want to talk about if he was great or not, all I gotta say is Super 6 tournament. That's all I gotta say. I don't understand how people, if they are aware that Andre Ward fought in the Super 6 World Boxing Classic, right? If they are aware that he fought in that and he won that, I can't understand how they don't give this man credit. Because I'm gonna tell you, they had killers in the Super 6 World Boxing Classic tournament. Now, if you don't remember, that tournament was organized by Showtime, okay? And they even had that guy with the crazy eyes in cooperation, Sauerland. And the tournament was held from 2009 to 2011. All the fights were being contested in the super middleweight division, and that's where Andre Ward fought majority of his career. Okay, so Andre Ward won the tournament, and in winning the tournament, he unified the WBA super title, the WBC, and the ring super middleweight titles. Now, this is something people don't understand. As far as the competitors, Now, the competitors who entered the tournament were at that time WBA super middleweight champion Mikhail Kessler. Now, if y'all don't know who Mikhail Kessler is, then you don't follow boxing. Mikhail Kessler was a killer. Then undefeated WBC super middleweight champion Carl Froch, a killer. 2004 Olympic gold medalist Andre Ward, at that time, was a killer. Former middleweight champion Jermaine Taylor and Arthur Abraham, two killers. And 2004 Olympic bronze medalist Andre Durrell. Then you had Taylor and Kessler, who ended up withdrawing during the tournament and were replaced by former light heavyweight champion Glenn Johnson. Glenn Johnson's like a piece of oak wood. Like, you just couldn't break him. And then super middleweight contender Alan Green, who was real good friends with Glenn Johnson, but Glenn Johnson tranquilized him when they fought. Now, the matches that took place, I think they started like in 2009. Matter of fact, this is October 17, 2009. After 3 group stages, 2 semifinal matches were set. Ward defeated Abraham in the first, held on May 14, 2011. Froch defeated Johnson in the second, held on June 4, 2011. After Froch defeated Johnson, he was elevated to the number 2 rating by Ring Magazine, with Ward being rated number 1, and the final pitted the number 1 and number 2 fighters against one another. And what ended up happening at the end is Ward beat Froch, and it was pretty one-sided. Froch just couldn't figure it out, and Andre Ward ended up winning the tournament. Now, it was a very competitive tournament. And when people sit here and they don't give Andre Ward for beating these guys, you know, I got to say, what more could you ask for someone? Because right now they're talking about putting a tournament together, 140-pound kind of Super 6 tournament. They're like, these are discussions that are being thrown around. Like, I'm not saying it's getting any traction. I'm just telling you kind of conversations that are taking place. Because when you look at 135 pounds, 140 pounds, 160 pounds, not really 154, but that 140-pound division, that tournament would be crazy if they had like a Super 6 or a Super 8 or whatever they decide to come up with. And then the person at the end who ends up the last man standing goes on to become undisputed, etc., Ring Magazine lineal champion. But to look at Ward, and of course he fought Kovalev in that fight, and I thought Kovalev won that fight. I really do. I mean, Ward didn't win every single round, in my opinion, after the first round against Kovalev. I just don't think he did. The only fighter I know to have gotten himself, tranquilized in the first round, then to come back and win every single round, like no kidding, win every single round, rounds 2 through 10 or 2 through 12, was when Juan Manuel Marquez fought Pacquiao in that first fight. That first fight, Juan Manuel Marquez got knocked out, I think it was 4 times. He didn't know what was happening. Pacquiao was putting all kind of lumpias up his ass. And then Marquez came out that second round and put some of that carne asada on Pacquiao Filipino ass, and third, fourth, all the way up to the last round, and ended up getting a draw. But the second fight with Ward, with Kovalev, Andre Ward was able to, touch him up a little bit and get a win. Now, what I'll say is, would it have been nice to see Ward fight some of these other guys, a Triple G, Canelo? Remember at that time, Canelo wasn't really bothering with Andre Ward. People were saying Andre Ward ducked Triple G and he was scared to go on and fight other fights. But when Andre Ward comes out and says that his body couldn't keep up with the robust training schedules and physical demands needed to be in tip-top shape for fights, that he knew it was time to retire. When you get a fighter who says that, and he didn't say that was the only reason, there were other reasons why he retired, but that was the main one. He didn't feel that he could give 100% in training anymore. And I think that's smart. You know, he made multiples of millions. He didn't make, 100 million, $200 million. He didn't make billions, but he made multiples of millions of dollars. The kind of money the way he and his family don't have to worry again. The next generations, they don't have to worry as long as everybody remains disciplined. So to me, he did the right thing. But to come now and start looking at maybe he didn't fight this person, he didn't fight that person. I just think we could do that with every fighter. And if that's what we do, we could question everybody's career. Matter of fact, some people question Floyd Mayweather's career. Some people question Oscar De La Hoya's career. Okay? Hell, some people will sit back and question Marvelous Marvin Hagler's career. You understand? So it's easy to sit back and want to poke holes in someone's career because you feel like, well, they didn't fight this person, and I don't agree with that. But when you look at, on paper, what they did, let me tell you something. For that time, for Andre Ward, and they had that Super 6 tournament, and for him to come out victorious, that was a huge win. A huge win. And a matter of fact, I think when you get situations where fighters don't want to fight, and they want to try to protect their titles, and they want to BS, I think the perfect remedy for those kind of problems is to force a Super 6, Super 7, Super 5, Super 8 tournament. And you get all these guys who are the top fighters in their division, and you put them in like a tournament that will go over the course of like this 2 years or so. And you have all the fights scheduled. You work out the pay, and everyone knows, okay, I know I have 3 fights this year and 3 fights next year. Or I have 3 fights this year, and if I lose, I'm done. They have an idea of what to expect. They know what kind of money they're going to be making, so they can plan. But for when I see the guys who were at 135 not wanting to fight each other, bubbling up to 140, making noise at 140, but don't really seem to want to fight each other. A couple guys who are still at 135 who don't really want to go to 140. Guys who are at 140 now who don't want to go back to 135. It's like, you know what? To fix all this bullshit where people don't want to fight each other, force a Super 6 tournament on them. And the thing is, not just anybody can get into that tournament. It's one of those things where they're very particular who they're gonna select. But take Devin Haney, take Teofimo, take Rolly Romero. You need to have a crazy one. Take Subriel Matias, take Ryan Garcia. You know what? Take Tank Davis and Shakir Stevenson and make it interesting. Take them 140-pound fighters, well-known names. Throw them up there. See what happens. See what happens. You can even throw Regis Prograis back in the mix. And let's see how it all plays out. Because I'm going to tell you right now, when you take a look at what's going on with this Day of Reckoning in Saudi Arabia right now, on the 23rd of December, with all those fighters they have, all them heavyweight fighters, it's not a Super 6 tournament, but it's almost like a damn tournament. Because those fighters who win go on to fight big fights again. And where do you think they're fighting at? They're fighting in Saudi against another big name. So they've kind of structured, a heavyweight tournament. And the money's good. You haven't heard one person complain. They're being treated like royalty. Even Jarrell Miller's over there being treated like royalty. So I think if they want to get something like this going at 140, and they want to get that division active the way it needs to be, I think they should do like what some of the fans are demanding right now. And they should try to push for something like that. Every fighter will get the kind of money they want. The fans will get the fights they want. And for the next couple of years, fighters can have an idea of what direction their career is going. And I think it'll be amazing. Amazing, especially if you get the Saudis behind it. But at the end of the day, when it comes to Andre Ward, I personally think Andre Ward could have hung around and could have kept getting wins. But when you come out and what was really left for Andre Ward? Go to 175, go to cruiserweight. Remember, Andre Ward was talking about at one point how he thinks he could beat Anthony Joshua, and him and his coach Virgil Hunter. Is it Hunter, right? They were actually talking about it. The things they see in Anthony Joshua, to where he feels he can go up and beat Anthony Joshua and become a heavyweight champion. And a lot of people thought that he was delusional. But when you sit back and you look now and see what Andy Ruiz did, but more what Usyk did to Anthony Joshua, was Andre Ward right? Should he have gone after AJ so he could have been the first one to clip him? I mean, I don't know. But what I do know is people need to stop taking it to the stupid and give Andre Ward his credit. He handled business, and it doesn't matter what you think he should have done, what I think he could have continued doing. The fact that he got in there in a tournament with Alan Green, Andre Durrell, Mikkel Kessler, Jermaine Taylor, Glenn Johnson, Arthur Abraham, Carl Frock, and all of those guys going at it, and for him to be the last man standing, that speaks volumes, and for that, they should never question how great this man was. Because if he got to that tournament and won that tournament, I have no doubt, no matter who he would have fought while he was in his prime, that he probably would have beat him. That being said, y'all keep cool. Shout out to the veterans. All 7 continents. I'm in the breeze.